want to introduce a vendor registration approval and a supply chain management system to your organization. So here we have logged in as the administrator. So you can see various application status, which is submitted, reviewed by admin. These are various users doing KYC, know whether it was rejected or whether it was accepted. So here we can see there's actually a workflow which I just talked about for various vendor registration. So for example, we have Road Fleet Movers as an organization. This is their vendor ID and things like that. So let's view the registration for this. While that is loading, so you can see that admin can view various companies that have applied to be vendors with this registration. So here you can view the company information, registration number, TIN, contact information, email, contact person, supporting documents and things like that, workflow, recent activity from this particular company. So you can see that it has been submitted for review, and so far they have completed 33% of their application. So that's one of the models. Then we have a model for vendor registration. We have a model for audit trail. We have a model for the employees, purchase and service requisition, purchase and service orders, for RFQs, for vendor quotations, vendors registry to allow you create RFQ and things like that. So here, okay, we reviewed this. So that's what this audit trail model does. Then we have this is like an employee directory where you have the various employees carrying out different functions in this portal. So we have various departments. So this is basically for the employees. This will help configure their user roles and permissions. So you can see those are in procurement, admin, audit, and all of that, HR, finance, legal, IT, projects. So these employees, based on their position, will carry out different functions in this system. So here you can always, as the admin, onboard an employee who has been employed by the organization. Of course, you capture the name, the employee's password, different information, signature, date of birth, work information, office numbers, office emails, the pension, NYSE information, next of kin, bank details for payroll, qualification, work permits, ID documents, referrals, and all of that. Yeah, so these are various vendors that have registered with the system. So here we have a model for purchase and service requisitions. Here you can see the department that is making this request, and you can see the status, the date it was submitted. You can have purchase and service orders here as well. So let's look at one of these. So here you can see a requisition by a staff called Amaka from this is the department. This is the account code. This is the estimated cost of what she wants and things like that. So you can use this to generate a request for quotation from the various vendors that produce this particular item she's requesting for. So this is the approval trail. So different employees log in and approve based on the organization's workflow. So you can see it was requested by Amaka. You can see who had authorized it, her HOD, who reviewed it, her GM, inventory check, finance check, audit control check, deputy MD's approval, AG's approval, and all of that. You can see various comments on this particular requisition. So this requisition, of course, generates an RFQ. So let's look at the RFQ here. So this is a request for quotation that was sent to various vendors for this particular requisition. Okay, so we have purchase and service orders for this. Like this is a purchase order that was sent to Directional Drillers Company. Let's look at it. So this is the RFQ. This is closed because the vendor has delivered and it was issued by this particular staff and things like that. Okay, so we have a RFQ here, which of course automatically is sent to vendors registered for the particular service or product there was a requisition for. Okay, so this is an RFQ. This is a sample RFQ. These are different staff that made the approvals, and then these are the vendors that were invited for this particular RFQ because they come under the category of drilling and well services. So you can see it was awarded to Directional Drillers Company and not to the others because they were the most qualified for this. And then these are vendor quotations. So when you receive an RFQ as a vendor through the system, you can also submit your quote. So let's look at this quotation from this particular organization. So you can see what they quoted for here, the total amount, the currency, the delivery timeline, and all of that. Then you have the vendor registration control center. This is where you view various vendors and know whether you're going to approve their application or not. There are various stages, which is the draft. After KYC, you can reject or accept a particular vendor for your organization. And then this is the form for creating a request for quotation. So this is you choose the approved requisition, of course, and then the service category, because this is going to go to vendors, automatically go to vendors under these various service categories. So you have the RFQ details and things like that. So this is a brief summary of what this system does. It does the vendor registration, the approvals, requisitions, requests for quotation from vendors, awarding projects, awarding contracts. Thank you, and let me know if you want to deploy this for your organization. Thank you.